Hello students, in the class of Health and Physical Education, Unit 10, that is Training and Doping in Sports, and today's topic which we are going to learn, that is Classification of Doping. In classification of doping, in the last we have learned performance enhancing drugs, and in this we are going to learn physical method, because the doping is being divided into two parts, that is performance enhancing drugs, and another method is physical method. So let's learn related to the physical method. Now, in the physical method, there are the different ways of doping, that is by the help of blood doping and gene doping, and another way is oxygen carrying carrier, also artificial way of oxygen carrier, that is one of the method to dope. So in a physical method, so let's start. So let's first know that how blood doping works, because we are having physical method, there are the two different types like gene doping and blood doping, as well as we are also having one more, that is artificial way of carrying blood. So artificial way of oxygen carrying carrier. So how we are going to learn here how the doping works. So you can see here there are the two different veins, you say the vessels are there. In that vessels you may see the vessels of the normal person as well as the person who has doped the blood. The person who has doped, you can see the blood cells are more, and here the normal person, the blood cells you can see here, that is as regular. So here the normal blood, you can see here it is what has been written. Let's see. The blood of a typical adult male is made up of 40 to 50% of the RBC, that is red blood cells, which carries oxygen to the tissues. Typical level for the woman, that is 35 to 45%. That means you can see here that how much an adult male, how much percent of the blood RBCs are there, there are 40 to 50%, which carries oxygen to the tissues. Because what happens that RBCs, red blood cells, carries number of that used to carries the oxygen. Typical level for the woman is how much? 35 to 40%. Now the person who has doped the blood with the help of the doping, you can see that RBCs from a donor or a previously removed from an athlete, or the hormone erythropoietin are injected. The increase in the RBCs allows the muscle to work longer and harder without cramping. That means the person who are having maximum number of or more number of this RBCs, because RBC carries lots that used to carry the oxygen, and the person who is having good oxygen in the red RBCs, that means that that person is going to work for a longer time period without having any fatigue or exhaustion. So that makes a difference between the normal person as well as the person who has doped, or this is an illegal method to increase the RBCs. Now what does the blood doping mean? So blood doping is defined by the World Anti-Doping Agencies as the misuse of the technique or substance to increase the one's red blood count. So it is one of the way, and World Anti-Doping Agencies has defined that as a misuse of the technique or the substance to increase one's RBC count, that is known as blood doping. Now we are having in this we are having two methods, that is one is autologous and another is homologous. So what happens in autologous, that a person used to in the autologous you see that it is being the blood is being taken from an athlete, the blood is being taken before competition, and then that blood is being frozen until 1 or 2 days before the competition. That blood is being frozen, and when the athlete before 1 or 2 days of the competition, it is being injected in the athlete, and this is known as an autologous blood doping. So autologous blood doping, here you can see autologous transfusion. This involves the transfusion of the athlete own's blood which is drawn and stored for the future use. That means the athlete used to transfuse, transfusion of the athlete's own blood, and then afterwards, when it is been required before 2 days of the competition or 1 day of the competition, it is been injected. So here usually 2 units of the athlete's blood are taken some week prior to the competition. Then the blood is frozen for 1 to 2 days before the competition. When it is injected into the athlete, this is known as an autologous blood doping. Second type of blood doping we are having, that is homologous. Homologous, that is same. So homologous blood doping is the injecting of the fresh blood removed from a second person. A fresh blood, that means blood is being taken from one of the person and straight away it is being given to the athlete. By increasing the number of RBCs, the oxygen carrying capacity of the muscles is increased. Here what happens, as the RBCs increases, the oxygen carrying capacity also increases, and oxygen carrying capacity to the muscle is increased, so that the person's muscle endurance increases, which ultimately enhances the sports performance. So here homologous transfusion. So in this type of transfusion, the athlete use the blood of someone else with the same blood type from someone else. It is known as a donated blood, and then afterwards they used to inject during the before the competition, which is going to help so that their RBC level increases, red blood cells increases. As the red blood cells increases, the oxygen carrying capacity to the muscles also increases, and the muscle endurance increase, which is going to improve the sports performance of an individual. Then second, we are having artificial oxygen carrier. Artificial oxygen carrier is a second method of blood doping, which involves the use of artificial oxygen carrier. Artificial way of carrying the oxygen. That means that artificial way of carrying the oxygen, definitely the performance increases. So hemoglobin, oxygen carriers are chemical or purified proteins which have the ability to carry the oxygen. These are helpful in enhancing the aerobic capacity. So here this is artificial synthetic oxygen carriers. So there are the you can see these are the chemicals that have the ability to carry the oxygen. Two examples are being given, that is hemoglobin blood oxygen carrier, and it is known as an fluorocarbon. Then synthetic oxygen carriers have the legitimate medical use as the emergency therapy. When it is in the case of emergency, it is been given. It is used when the patient need the blood transfusion, but the human blood is not available. When the patient is being needed, when the human blood is not available, there is a high risk of the blood infection. There isn't enough time to find the proper match of the blood type. So you can see here, this is I am just taken an example. I have taken the photo and I have just pasted here. So synthetic oxygen carrier. So here main thing here it is been written that hemoglobin oxygen carriers are chemicals or a purified protein which have the ability to carry the oxygen. But actually we are having only two types, that is blood doping as well as gene doping. So clear? Then next we are having, that is gene doping. So you can see the gene are being taken from the athletes, one of the athlete, and it is being transmitted, it is being put into the another athlete so that their performance can be improved. Let's see here what is been given here. So gene doping is the manipulation of the cell or gene, manipulation of cell or gene to enhance the body's sports performance. Now this gene doping enables the faster reaction and increases the physical strength. What does the gene used to do? That used to enable the faster reaction and increases the physical strength. Gene doping is based on the principle of gene therapy. With the help of the gene therapy, it has been done. The process of gene doping is likely to be used by the athlete in future in attempt to enhance the function of the normal healthy person. Now, gene therapy may play a vital role in the growth and development of the musculoskeletal structure. It will speed up the recovery of the injuries of the muscle, tendons and ligaments, etc. So here in gene doping, what happens? They used to take they used to take the genes from the one of the, that is, we can say that they used to take the cell and that used to put in the another person. So here this is the process of gene doping is likely to be used in the athlete in the future in an attempt to enhance the function of the normal healthy person. The gene therapy may play a vital role in growth and development of the musculoskeletal structure. You can see that modifying of the gene which helps to increase the performance of an individual. So this is also one of the therapy. It has been possible. This gene doping has been possible through the uh, gene therapy. But everything, whenever these such types of athlete who used to participate, and though they have doped, either they have doped blood doping or they have gene doping, it has been founded out after all. So gene therapy plays a very vital role in the growth and development of the musculoskeletal structure. It speeds up the recovery of an injury. If any of the player has got injured, it helps us in the recovery to get recovery faster. Injuries of the muscles related to the muscles, tendons, and ligaments. So this is what related to the physical method. We are having blood doping method, gene doping method, as well as we also learned related to the artificial oxygen carriers. So I hope so that this is clear. You can search more for this gene doping if you are not able to get it very clear. Oh, okay, so you can see here in the picture they used to change with the help of the gene doping therapy. So you can prepare the notes on the basis of this. From my side, this much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.